Hello and welcome back to the LFC Transfer Room. It's been a while since I've said that. It's been a long time, but I'm back and ready to rumble. I'm joined today by Mr. Matty, Mr. James Dean, and Mr. Owen Cummings. Man, freshly tanned, coming back from the Maldives. How are you, Owen? You all right, mate?
Oh, I'm fantastic, mate. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, it's been a great time to be a Liverpool fan, and yeah, just hoping we can carry on the good form. How you doing?
I'm good, mate. I'm very good. It's obviously a stressful time. It's uni time. It's life is getting in the way, but LFC Transfer Room still rolls on. James Dean, how are we?
I'm all right. I like the Hammers. I'll go with that. That's a
Yeah.
new one. I've never been a Jim or a Jimmy, but Hammers kind of works. So yeah, I'm in. I'm all right. It's working day, but I'm all right. Getting by.
Aye, we get by. And Mr. Matty Orm, how are we, mate?
Not bad, Kris. How are you? And Red's got 3 points. That's the main important thing. Looking forward to the Arsenal game. Bit concerned about Salah getting a knock, not being seen in training today. But we march on. Ultimately, win every game. We're going to win all 4 cups. So I'm just confident as ever, Kris. We're going to win the lot.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. This is the chat room, so all of our content, as soon as it starts flowing in, because I know that it'll take a little while for you guys to come in, will be dictated by you. We will answer all of your questions, as much of them as we can. I can't promise all, because I know certain political leaders like to promise things, but I'm very realistic with you today. So hey Jen in the chat, hope you're doing well. Big support of the channel. Lovely to see you. Hey Gary, hope you're well. So we're going to start off with Mo Salah, ladies and gents. We're gonna bottle it to start off with. We're gonna go straight in. But according to AS, Barcelona want to bid 50 to 58 million in the summer to sign Mohamed Salah. Now, I hate to be crude, but fuck off.
It's not happening, is it?
It's just not going to happen. I mean, James, in terms of the pricing of that and in terms of the situation, how realistic do you think that will be?
I think that they've got one of these like dartboards where they've just got like different amounts of money and then different places. So they'll throw on hit Salah, throw on 50 million, like one of those stupid generators. Because if they've spent all the money signing the Damas Ferrari down that right hand side and they're building it all around pace and everything, why Salah? I mean, it's just one of those ridiculous rumors that come out. It's not, you're not getting him for 50, are you? Maybe 150.
I mean, with the
year left, like 100 million anyway that they've still not paid us.
Yeah, that was written off. Actually, that was written off in the end because of it was a debt thing. But Owen, I mean, it seems a little bit disrespectful, isn't it? All of this Salah saga that's going on, it's just mental.
Yeah, it's just I can't really believe it's happening. After losing Coutinho, I thought those days were beyond us. If I'm being completely honest, so it's very disappointing. I'd rather be talking about us about to win the quadruple, if I'm being completely honest. But here we are. I think, in my opinion, I think Salah signs it. So I don't think there's kind of too much to kind of look into. But yeah, it is very worrying, really. We do have a decision to make if Salah isn't going to sign the new contract, because either do we let his contract run out or do we sell him and cash in? And because I still think we can definitely make a lot of money in summer if we do decide to do that. So it's an interesting one.
Certainly is. I mean, Matty, I'm getting a little bit more worried as time goes on, to be honest with you. But what's your feelings on Mo? Will he get that deal done?
I think it's already done, to be honest with you. Just about waiting for the right time to announce it. Like with Mo Salah, yeah, PSG may be offering him 600 grand a week, but he's going to look at the likes of Lionel Messi who's went there. It's obviously flopped, to be honest with you. Mbappe's leaving there. Their fans are booing them on the weekend. He's not getting that at Liverpool. He's absolutely adored here. So it's really, if he goes, then all this love and all that he talks about in Liverpool is not true. I strongly believe we should be paying him what he deserves to earn, to be honest with you. He's one of the best players in the world. He should be getting what he wants, but we're not going to break our wage structure to do that. Now, if you're actually looking, I remember a few years ago, something got leaked about Liverpool's wages and the amount of bonuses to get for scoring goals, assists, performance bonuses, etc. It levels out the wages to some of the top earners. Liverpool have got one of the highest wage bills in the league. So these players are already earning fantastic amounts of money and they're getting all these bonuses. So if it's bonus incentive top line, that's what he wants more of. So if he wants 600 grand a week, 500 grand a week, should be saying, yeah, you can get that, but you're getting no performance related bonuses. and we'll soon see him sign a deal, don't we? So I think it's done.
Absolutely. Jen, absolute queen, legend, £4.49 super sticker. Thank you so much for that. Also, I've just been reminded, make sure to use the code TR2020 at checkout for manscaped.com. You can get all your ball favorite stuff going on there. I mean, James, as a man who's a big connoisseur of his balls,
ball
what are
favorite stuff?
Yeah,
you
mate.
haven't practiced that, have you, Chris?
No. This is completely intentional. As a man who obviously grooms his balls very well, what would you say about Manscaped?
I don't know how to start to respond to that. As a man who grooms his balls very well, it just started off weird. Well,
I can't say that to Owen because he's a minor, so I have to go with you.
How shut the panel down in one question? I think the last thing you want to be doing is getting a sharp object around there, and something that can do it without injuring you is always going to be a benefit, isn't it? And
it can make you smell nice. Matty, I mean, we can all confirm it makes our balls smell nice.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I have had it for a long time now, so I'm delighted that we're on board with Manscaped. It's phenomenal, really is. And everyone should use the discount code and go and get the stuff. But the ball tone and the ball deodorant, some of my personal favourites. Unbelievable, Jeff.
Yeah, I'll avoid you, Owen, on this one.
Yeah, no seriousness. Yeah, buy it. Go
ahead. So get your questions in. This is the chat room, so all of your questions, as much as we can, will be answered. So that is where you guys get to dictate the content today. Salah to Barcelona, would he fit in, Matty?
Nah, but then you say no, but Aubameyang's hit the ground running there, hasn't he? He's playing fantastic, and Adama Traore's getting assists for fun, and he only got like 3 at Wolves. So, but Salah will do well anywhere he goes. To be honest with you, if he goes to Italy, Spain, France, Germany, he'd succeed everyone's record in every league he goes to. But I believe it when Salah says that he wants to smash every record in Liverpool's record books. I believe he will, and I rarely am. I'm telling myself he's not going to go and that he is going to get a new contract, because I just don't think, although FSG won't break the wage structure, I don't think they're stupid. And I think there'll be a way around paying Mo Salah what he wants through bonuses and etc. It's not breaking the wage structure. And he'll stay. Why would he leave? Like, you've got Jurgen Klopp, they've got an exciting project. He said he wanted to see Liverpool get good signings in. Luis Diaz, arguably, is one of the signings of the season, and he came in January. So we're getting them quality players in. We will continue to, but I just hope all the Rafinha links isn't like a Salah replacement, because that'll just be disastrous, as good as Rafinha is.
Apologies to everyone. I am currently eating some sweet corn and peas with a fork. So sometimes you have to scran, and I'm choosing these moments in order to do so. But yeah, make sure to get your comments in. You guys are controlling the content. It is the chat room, and exactly, you guys are the chat. You guys get to dictate the content. In terms of other transfers, there could be something coming on the other way, Owen. Gavi, the 17-year-old from Barcelona, has a £43 million release clause, apparently, until June the 30th. Do you think there is any concrete interest from Liverpool there?
Well, I'm sure that Liverpool will be tracking what's going on. I think Liverpool are always a club that kind of watching and waiting for that opportunity. I know kind of fans kind of get frustrated with it, especially on social media at times, especially when like all the vain journalists are saying it and no signings are happening. And it's understandable at times. It can become frustrating, but I think the club are definitely going to be there. If there's any potential of a good deal, then the club will know about it. And I haven't seen a huge amount of him, but from what I've heard, he's an absolutely fantastic young player. And but I think, yeah, if we could get him in for a good price, there's been always talk about Bellingham, but yeah, if we could do a deal for him instead as an alternative, then yeah, go for it.
The thing I think with Gavi, James, is I see Xavi and Iniesta with him and Pedri Mark II, and I just think as a Barcelona boy, he won't be going anywhere.
It depends, though, doesn't it? It depends where he sees himself fitting in. It depends what Barcelona are like at this moment. You know, we've got to remember Barcelona, the only reason they were able to sign Aubameyang and Traore is because of government loans, and they sold off like 10-15% of their television rights to third-party company, and it was all this injection of money to level things off. So at some point, they are still going to have to balance the books. They still have to get rid of people. They still have to sell and make profits on their academy. And this could just be one of those situations where it's 43 million for someone who could go either way. As much as, yes, it could be Xabi and Iniesta, they still have to really balance the books, and they have to get rid of a lot of cash. You know, they need to get rid of Coutinho. They're still paying for that. They need to get rid of Ousmane Dembele. He's going obviously for free. There is some ridiculous wages that they've got to clear out. And so maybe a 43 million just helps clear some of the decks.
Yes, definitely. I saw a comment from Anthony, and I'm going to try and find it because it's going to be our first question of the day. Wherever it is, it did say, should Naby Keita sign a new contract at Liverpool? I'll start with you, Owen, on that one. Would you give Naby Lad a new deal with 18 months left? Well, less than 18 months left now.
Yeah, I would give him a new deal. I don't think he warrants a pay rise, in my opinion. I just don't think we've seen enough of him, enough consistency, enough kind of just what we bought him for that £55 million. Kind of, I don't think he's really repaid that entirely. So, but now he's kind of coming into his own, really, now kind of finding his way. He's been put on that kind of new training. I don't know what exactly you call it, but a training kind of program. That's it. Yeah, regime program. Same as Joel Matip, which has really helped him with his injuries, kind of the niggly ones, the little muscle injuries. So yeah, that's a really, really positive sign. And hopefully, if he can carry it on, then yeah, I don't think there'll be any reason not to give him a new deal. But I just think that you don't want to be going on giving him a new 4 or 5 year deal in case those injury problems kind of repeat themselves and kind of cause ourselves trouble. So yeah.
Naby Lad, Matty?
Warranting on this year's performances and injury record, 100%, I'd give him a new deal. But if giving him a new deal is what's going to stop Mo Salah getting a new deal, then absolutely not. If it's either or, then I'm more Mo Salah. But Naby Keita this season, he's been fantastic for us. I think the midfield really worked well in recent weeks, intertwining. There's new additions every week, fresh faces every week, with your solid core. It's been playing well. Liverpool are playing fantastic, especially in the middle of the park. Harvey Elliott can't get into the team at the minute, and we know how good he is. So, Naby Keita, yeah, I'm all for him this season. But obviously, that's just purely based on this year's performances. As a whole, I'd say it's probably time to go because he hasn't had as many good performances in as many years at the club. But purely based on this season, I'd keep him. And you're only as good as your last performance. And in that element, I'd keep Naby Keita.
He recently reached 100 appearances for Liverpool, James. Now, I struggle to recall 10 bad ones out of those 100 appearances. Yes, it's taken him 4 years to make them, but quality over quantity?
I think it's hard to say, oh, this is a really bad appearance, this is a really good appearance, because these bad appearances is where he just disappears from games. I think with the midfield, you can lose them in a game, especially our midfield. And so I can think of games where he's been anonymous more than he's been bad. And the problem with Naby is when he's good, he's high pressing, tackling, winning the ball back. When he's bad, he's just anonymous and you don't notice he's not there. And I think for me, I think it's probably 50-50. I'm not necessarily sure I would give him a new contract because whilst I agree with Matty, he's played decent this season, he's coming into contract renewal time to play decent. And I always think it's a bit of a red flag when a contract's up for renewal, that's when they start playing their good football. I think it's just a little bit too late for me, and I think he's doing it for the contract and not because he wants to be part of it.
If it's a toss up between Keita and the Ox, I'm going Keita.
Well, obviously,
yeah.
But at the same time, I can't see Ox staying. If I'm being honest, after his contract, I think he might.
I think both are going. Do
you think both? I think Naby stays. I honestly, I genuinely think if, as Owen says, he doesn't warrant a pay rise. However, potentially, if he decides, if he thinks, okay, I can extend I think he's on £120,000 a week. If he can extend that for another 2 or 3 years, why not? Then I don't think there's any harm in it, really.
The problem is he's in contract talk from Liverpool are on fighting on all fronts. He could get to the end of the season, Liverpool could have won the Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup, League Cup, and Naby Keita could be going, I want double. Because could he go to some stupid club like PSG and get double his wages? Probably. So just in that situation. Not reckon?
The Genie Wijnaldum thing, I think, is in everyone's head, though, isn't it? Like, I think all Liverpool midfielders, it's in their head that if I go, I could get this cool pay rise, and then I'm going to be booed by the opposition fans. I'm going to be hated. I'm going to be whistled. And look at Genie; he's having a shit time.
Yeah, he certainly is. I mean, would you take him back, Owen? Genie Wijnaldum.
Ask me first. You know my answer. You're mad. Come on.
You are Matty. Okay. You can't tell me you didn't watch the football match. Matty, what?
Answer. Genie or the Ox?
Neither.
No, but if you need depth in midfield, I'll just have a starting three. In terms
Curtis
of depth,
Jones.
Wijnaldum was never ever injured. Ever. He was the man for the big
I've
occasion.
never been injured.
Yeah, he was awful though.
Yeah, but you've been
awful.
terrible performances in the Liverpool first team, Chris.
How do you know that, James? There is no concrete proof of that.
Exactly. You just go missing in games.
Genie's one of them players who's just so underappreciated by our fan base. When I was younger, the Genie Wijnaldum when I was young was like Steve Finn, and no one appreciated how good he actually was for the club.
We went and replaced Steve Finnan with a better fullback in Alvaro Arbeloa.
Yeah, but Steve Finnan was so underrated in the time.
And then went and replaced him with Glenn Johnson, which, to be fair, was.
I mean, don't get me wrong. With the midfield is more creative than that, but Genie Wijnaldum's good depth, which we haven't.
Genie Wijnaldum.
He is good.
Did you not watch him last season, Matty? Did you not watch him?
Horrific.
Available for us.
Yeah, but he was terrible.
He went.
Yes, he was.
He was. He passed the ball back so much. Now we got Thiago now, and he passes the ball forward, and we can actually develop. We play so much better football, honestly.
It's retaining possession sometimes, though. Like everyone says, "Oh, he passes it back." That might be the best platform for him at the time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but he did it all the time, though. It wasn't even just at odd occasions. He'd do it regularly every game.
And he also won us a Champions League.
Yeah, but that was
right. Genie Wijnaldum pre-2020 to 2021. Sound. Genie Wijnaldum 2020 to 2021. Bad.
Nah, you're mad.
Yeah, totally agree.
He was awful. James, where are you on Wijnaldum?
I really like him. Because he doesn't lose possession
ever.
And I think when we're under the cosh, like one of the things I've noticed this season is sometimes we can lose the ball in midfield and we get counter-attacked on. And yes, we play a good defensive line, but Genie never lost the ball. And I don't think we've got a midfielder, apart from Curtis, who I'd say fronts people up and doesn't lose the ball. But I don't think we've got someone where everyone just tries to hit them and they just bounce off. I would rather Wijnaldum than Keita.
No, James.
You're
mental.
I wouldn't go as deep as James, but Genie Wijnaldum was a good option for us, and the money he was asking for, granted, why pay that for a squad option going forward? I completely agree why he left, understand, whatever. But if you could get him back on a cup and get him on the same wages again, of course you'd have Genie back as depth. Of course you would. It's good depth. Everyone here, all yous were telling me when we were speaking about Coutinho, he's washed in the Premier League, and look, these players
wouldn't do it for us. Wouldn't do it for us.
He's a mad. He's a proper mad.
Mate, Wijnaldum is finished.
I don't think we'll ever get him back, to be honest. I think he'll go to Newcastle because he'll get the money he wants at Newcastle, and to be fair, that he used to be there. So,
look, what I can say is we appreciated at the time, and I still think Liverpool fans love Genie Wijnaldum. Like, we could just go to Wembley, and his song was blaring out, but Liverpool outgrew him, in my opinion.
After that as well, after the final, it was breaking my heart. Going on his Twitter, going on his likes, and it's just all good cool stuff. I was like, oh, Genie.
Liverpool outgrew him.
Don't forget what he said about the fans though as well. He literally came out and stated.
Said it about fans on Twitter who just slate players off, and I agree. I completely agree with Genie Wijnaldum. Fair play to him for calling all them muppets out. Fair play.
There's a difference between going to him and abusing him than there is criticizing him, because I think criticism is very much warranted.
Liverpool is a massive cesspit though, in it when a player's playing. It has a few bad performances.
True, yeah. To be fair, that thing with Nico Williams, did you guys see the interview of him? And he had a real torrent of it. I think he made one bad game last year, and bless his heart. Like, I love Nico. I think he's class. But a young player getting that, I think when you're 29, 30, you're more equipped to deal with it. But when you're 19, like, that's just grim, man. That's just grim.
He's having a cracking time at Fulham, though. He's playing really well.
He certainly is, isn't he? I mean,
nearly got a cracker from just past the halfway line.
He did, and then he scored that volley against Swansea, which I was meant to be going to that game, but sadly I thought I had COVID, which was a bit of an L. Get all your comments in the comment section. It is the chat room. It is your LFC transfer room for the day. Moving forward, I mean, we've got Arsenal on Wednesday. We're going to do a whole preview on that tomorrow. I won't be here, I don't think, so I'll keep chinwagging about it. But do you think, Owen, Arsenal will pose any threat?
Yeah, definitely. I think they've won their last 5 games in the league. It's like they've looked like a completely different team, considering after the first 3 games, they were talking about them getting relegated. Can you believe that? Like, honestly, the job Arteta has done, even though it's taking him time, he's been giving the players, he's been giving them backing in the end to go and do the job, and like, it's paying off now. It really is showing that it was worth bringing him in, and that he's kind of learned from Pep, because when he first came in, it was kind of like where people expected him to be like Pep Guardiola. People expected him to just turn up and be Pep Guardiola 2.0, and that was never ever going to happen. But I think now you're kind of seeing signs where I was watching Monday Night Football just now, and it was showing the similarities between this current Arsenal team and the Man City team. So I think, yeah, it's definitely going to be a really, really hard game. And I think there still is kind of a question around Arsenal with their kind of consistency and if they can kind of keep up regularly. So whether we'll catch them on a good day or a bad day, who knows? But I think it'll be a really tough game for sure.
See, I'm of the opinion that I was more worried about Brighton than I am about Arsenal. Yeah, now, I know that might seem a bit of a stretch, but I just feel like we are tailor-made to playing this Arsenal team, Matty.
That Arsenal team's awful. They're terrible. Like, everyone thinks they're good. That Lego head's a big fraud, to be honest with you, because they all think they're good. They do. But the minute they come up against a decent opposition, they get absolutely rinsed all the time. Oh, like last time we played them, he was in form, and everyone was like, I'm a bit worried, and we battered them. We battered them every time we played them. It's light work against them. Not one bit worried. I think we walked them. I seen a comment before, 5-0 win. I'd agree. I reckon it's going to be 4-5-0. Like, this Arsenal team will come and attack us. They'll play from the back, and Liverpool will just pick them off. It's what we do to teams like this. And the minute Arsenal come up against a good team, they get hurt. They are so bad. They look good because they play decent against the lesser sides, but they're the games they should be winning anyway. They're probably bordering on top 6, top 4 team, but they're no threat to Liverpool. It's an easy 3 points for me. I was probably more worried about Brighton because I like the way Graham Potter plays. Don't think Arteta's very good. Don't think Arsenal are very good. Think all the teams are shambles. They let the players run the club. It's bad from the bottom to the top in Arsenal, to be honest. Right,
James?
Quite right, haven't I, in recent weeks?
James?
I think I tend to agree with Matt, and the only thing that bothers me is the first 25 minutes, because it's a team full of kids. I think you can break them in the first 25 minutes, or they can have confidence for the game, depending on how that goes. Now, when we were at our best, we used to absolutely annihilate everyone in the first 25 minutes. But now we're more pacing ourselves and destroying them in the second half, just making them run. So I think probably the first half's critical for us. I think if Arsenal are in it and they're feeling confident and stuff like that, they might pose a bit more of a challenge to us. But I think if we put one past them in the first half, the Reds will go down, it'll be done.
I mean, we can only see, like, take the game at Anfield, for example. Mikel Arteta started stropping and the game was done. Like, yeah. I think it's a young manager, it's an inexperienced manager against a very experienced team. I just don't. I don't see it. I mean, their midfield is what, Partey and Xhaka as their midfield too, against Thiago, Fabinho, and Naby Keita.
It's a guaranteed win on a gamble, isn't it? If you go to the bookies and put a tenner on Xhaka to get a yellow card, you're pretty much always guaranteed to get it, aren't you? Yeah. Especially against Liverpool. I think he gets yellow carded every time he plays us because he just can't deal with the press and just hacks someone down. So I think he got sent off last time, actually, didn't he?
We
Joss's
didn't.
playground as well. Arsenal away is Joss's playground. It's going to. I feel
Yeah.
back.
Used to be
And then-
Mane.
yeah, and then-
Before we signed Salah and Mane was on the right, he just used to destroy him.
Everyone loves playing Arsenal. Bobby loves playing Arsenal as well.
and you throw and Bobby's back, and then you throw Luis Diaz in, who is rapid. They aren't keeping up with him. Not a chance. They've got Diaz and Salah, both probably. I think Diaz is just a
Not
bit
Salah.
faster.
Salah's probably going to be missing, but even so.
Well, you could put Mane then on the right where he used to play, and he's still got Mane and Diaz bombing down at them. Like that. Nah, we'll batter them. We'll absolutely batter them.
I mean, it's Saka against Robertson, isn't it? So Robertson uses the dark arts to stop everybody. So Saka's shouldn't get anywhere.
Yeah.
We've got everything to beat them, but it's the first half for me.
I mean, where can Arsenal hurt Liverpool?
That's a tough question, that. I think when we're kind of attacking them, I think they can definitely pose a lot of threat on the counter-attack when we tend to be quite vulnerable then. I just think it depends. Yeah, I think I definitely agree with what the lads have just said there, that if we kill the game off 20, 25 minutes, then I think, yeah, I'm very, very confident that we'll go and finish the game. However, I think if we give them confidence and let them build into the game, the atmosphere as well, it's very positive move around there as well. So I think that will define the game. I really do think that. And I just hope that we can carry on kind of building, because I think what we've been doing the last few weeks has been really promising. It's helped us in all competitions, just having that momentum.
Yeah, well, I hope so. It'd be great. I mean, we've I think we've won our last 9 Premier League games, 8 or 9. Kept 5 clean sheets. I mean, I can't see.
Costing us a fortune in bonuses.
I know. I can't see a way in which Arsenal win this game. I just don't. I think we totally outclassed them in both League Cup semi-finals. Despite the fact we didn't score in the first one, I think we outclassed them in both. I think we outclassed them in the game at home. I think we've outclassed them in multiple games across the years. I mean, the second game last season where we won 3-0. I mean, we outclassed them in the Community Shield final when we lost. I mean, I don't think there's not many teams more suited to playing Klopp's Liverpool in terms of losing than Mikel Arteta's Arsenal.
Agree.
Matty.
I agree. Completely agree. Sides like Arsenal who come and try and play from the back in that way. It's just a training session for Liverpool players. It's something they do day in, day out. It's their bread and butter. So sides, when they come and try and play like that against us, it's bad news. I still to this day don't know why sides do it against us, because nobody's ever successful in it, and Arsenal certainly won't be successful. Even if they're at home, I don't really care. Like, Liverpool just win. We're an absolute machine, and we need to keep winning to win the league. And I think that's the mentality the players have got. And every game's a cup final for them. And when Liverpool got that mentality of born winners, I'm just confident of a win every week, to be honest.
Yeah. So moving on, a new signing was announced. I think I saw Hyla speaking about it earlier. It was the Celtic 16-year-old Ben Doak. Now, I don't know if you guys saw the highlights that the LFC transfer room posted on Twitter, but he looks very good, like very good. James,
Is he Scottish?
Yeah.
Oh, sound. Yeah, sound. Well.
And I think he spent I think he's had 2 games on the Celtic substitutes bench at 16 years old. People are saying he looks like a young Wayne Rooney in his playing style, like a bulldog. So I mean, Owen, it's good to see players like that getting an opportunity. And I think when they look at Liverpool, they'll see a pathway to the first team.
Yeah, definitely. I think our academy's produced so many great talents, and even Harvey Elliott, you see, comes in and he's not from the club or anything, but comes from abroad, from Fulham, and instantly he develops in space of a year, 2 years, goes away on loan, comes back, and he's ready for the first team. So I think there's a lot of promise there. And for the guy, you can look at it and think, well, then this could be more opportunity to get into the team. Very hungry to get into the Liverpool team because he knows that we can win trophies. We can help him to achieve things in his career that not many players can achieve.
Do you think, though, James, that we've had? I think there's a lot of examples of players getting their moves so young and it potentially going to their head. Do you think that there's any danger of that with a guy coming from Celtic down to Anfield?
I think a lot of the times you see it with the big contracts. They give them a lot of money, it goes to the head, and then they lose track. But you don't see much of that with Liverpool, really. I think they're really quite strict on them. I think it's quite a regiment that we've got there, which is why a lot of people are trying to copy our sort of youth setup and why so many of our youth players make it through, even not in our first team. I think it's one of those. He's 16. He's not going to be anywhere near the first team to start with. He's going to have to prove his way through. Looks good on, YouTube, and pretty much anyone can look good on YouTube. So he's going to have to impress the under-23s manager. Is it Alex Inglethorpe still?
He's the director, yeah. I think it's Barry Lutus is the...
He's going to have to impress Klopp. He's got a long way to go, but it's a good sign that we're looking at the best talent in the UK, because certain rules, Reds kicking in, number of English in your squad and stuff like that, I think we definitely need to be cherry-picking talent and bringing them through. And if we can get the reputation for that, great.
Definitely. Is this true? If so, that's amazing. Join forces for a charity match for Ukraine. Shout out to Robbo and Lewandowski. But yeah, that's cool. I think that would be an easy place to end the stream there. But make sure to use the code TR2020 at manscaped.com. We'll let these guys get back to watching Crystal Palace beat Man City. Yeah. We can only hope and pray that Paddy's Barmy Army is going to do us a favor in the title race. They do have a history of messing things up. So,
that more against us, but I hope to do it against City.
Well, they did try their best. Andros Townsend tried his best a couple of years ago, so bless him. Anyway.
Yeah. Oh, fingers crossed.
Everything going down.
Oh, that would make me, yeah.
We'll save that for another stream. But yeah, we'll catch you in the next one. Make sure to use the code TR2020 at manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping at your checkout. And we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.